sugarcane industry on the side of the river. Incongruous piles of various different minerals and gravels, it looks like here. And the way they're loading and unloading seems very primitive indeed. I think there'd be a conveyor system. Here we're approaching the most enormous set of locks. And there were many of these on the journey to Moscow. Makes the Caledonian Canal locks seem small, in comparison anyway. Interestingly, the barrier on the downside of the lock are a set of gates, but at the top end of the lock, that rusty brown item you can see there actually lowers into the gate beneath. This entire section actually slides down to allow the ship out of the top of the locks. There it goes. This is a church made entirely of wood on Kizhi Island, which was to be our stop. Our cabin is the front cabin there on the middle deck. We had excellent local guides at all of the locations, and usually the excursions were free.
Some monuments of wooden architecture, applied arts, and items which have existed here since old times. Kizhi Island.
Here's ye old digital thermostat. Interestingly, the upper stories of these houses had massive areas where they could keep all sorts of equipment and working areas. They had sledges and even boats, and outside there was a ramp so that they could move the boats and the sledges down to the exterior. You can see the ramp from the upper floor here. The Russians seem to go in for saunas in a really big way, each house having its own. a really interesting fence design here. This is the ship's sun deck, and on the canopy seagulls used to sit on the top. People used to come up and flick at their feet so that they flew off. You could also join larger tables in the dining area, and these are some friends, Australians on the left, Canadians in the middle, and Vicky and Gary Jones from Australia on the right. And this was us on the celebration of our wedding anniversary, and the ship provided a cake as well. And one evening the vodka tasting, which ended up with raucous laughter over jokes that weren't actually particularly good. This is the briefing room and lecture theatre where we learned about Stalin, want to be painted out of history, and also this is our Nicholas and Gorbachev too. It says Viking Rurik, St. Petersburg. Wendy had to keep pinching herself that she was actually in Russia after all these years. Gary and Vicky on the right, plus two other Australian friends.